A one-bar phrase. One and two and three and four and one and two and three and four and one and two and three. Or if I go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's a two-bar phrase. So you work in phrase lengths, I think would be the way to look at it. Because a bass line has to be musically lined up in a phrase mathematical way, in the way the notes go with the rhythm.
Okay, because I was doing 12, but it seems like it's a 4-bar phrase.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna stop and
But also look at it and see if it's if it's in 2-bar increments, like the first 2 bars or the second 2 bars kind of mirror the first 2 bars, but they're a little bit different to make it a 4-bar phrase. Forget Me Nots is a perfect example of a 4-bar phrase. If you look at that, you got that chart, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look at that chart and you'll see that first line is a 4-bar phrase broken into 2-bar main sections.
So kind of like a response, so the first 2 and the last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you have right, and then it goes same thing, but then it goes then it starts over there. That's when the phrase starts over. Because you'll see every 4 bars it has that da 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 ba da ba ba da to bring it round to the start of the 4-bar phrase again. But you see every 2 bars so it goes back to that on the 3rd bar, beginning of the 2nd bar, the 3rd bar, the 2nd section of the 4-bar phrase, I guess would be a way to say it.
Okay, and the 4th bar is the...
Yeah. So I'm answering the question like that because without me hearing what you're actually working with,
mm-hmm.
I can only guess. I can only give you this answer that you're going to have to look at the phrasing of what you're dealing with. Now, if you want to send me rough examples of what you're talking about, either written out or actually recorded or something, some type of actual audio thing would be quicker because that way you could hear it in context, Sometimes things don't translate on paper as clearly, especially if they're not totally conceived yet,
That's fair. I will send that for next lesson. I just gotta write that down.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm close to having a good part. It's just when it's a longer phrase.
You have to look at the phrasing. So in terms of how you should tackle it, it should be phrase by phrase.
Okay, that's helpful. And the phrases can...
Sometimes phrases can have chunks in them. Like Forget Me Nots is 2 chunks. There are 2 main chunks in the 4-bar phrase. You got the first 2 bars, second 2 bars, and then it starts over. But the last measure of the 4-bar phrase, it takes you back to that. It takes you there. When you're going... you hear it start over. I know we're used to hearing the song, but it's taking you there. That's the brilliance of that bass line.
So phrases can be different, but there's still kind of that unifying theme.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's songs that are bass lines. If somebody said sing Brick House, what are you going to do? You're going to sing the bass part, right? Dum, bum, bum. That's the song, right? So look at that. It's not over yet. 1, 2, dun, 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 1, dun, dun. So that's 2 bars, right? Dun, dun, Then it starts over. So really listen to the verse. So that's a 4-bar phrase with two 2-bar chunks.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that's following like the same kind of playbook that Forget Me Nots is, in terms of the way they're organizing the phrasing of the part. So you'll see that in a lot of songs. You'll see a lot of similar math, because people follow the same math because it works.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that was super helpful.
So figure out your phrasing. See if you can conceptualize that, away from the bass. Conceptualize all that. Have this thing playing in your head. See if you can get the thing kind of wrapped up internally, and then play it on instruments. Again, a lot of people make the mistake about they go the instrument too soon. It gets in the way of the compositional process. You need to hear the thing first. It's like knowing what you want to say before you actually start, throwing out words. Usually when you go, and you just start throwing out words without really thinking it through, sometimes it doesn't, come out the way, things don't turn out the way you wanted them to. But if you really sit down and think about these things and, actually practice, rehearse. Everybody does that, especially in situations of conflict. That there's a problem somewhere that you have to deal with somebody with this problem, and you got to be careful how you say things. You don't want to hurt somebody's feeling because that they care as much about what they're saying, even though it's totally against what you're saying. But we still got to get to this common ground here. We got to find a place to work together. So we've got to be able to communicate in a way that, it doesn't turn emotional. Because once it goes there, then, it generally doesn't work as well together as if you're in a calm place, talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing, just, think it through, listen to it before you start playing it. That's one of my big things